What's up, guys? Jimbo 203 back at you another one. Now we're seeing this is actually a follow up from the video I posted yesterday or the day before about the unmarked vehicles picking people up off the streets in Oregon. Well, now it says U.S. Attorney requested Department of Homeland Security investigation after video shows mass camouflage federal authorities arresting protesters in Portland. Now, I think this is to persuade people not to protest. Um, I think that they're supposed to identify themselves, and because just picture this: picture you're out, maybe you're not even protesting. Picture you're out going to the store or even non-violently protesting, and a van pulls up on you and takes you. People see this, they can follow and copy and do the same thing. What if some crazy guy has an army uniform and he decides to go out and just start picking people up and killing them? People start disappearing. I don't know. It's unsettling a little bit, the video. But also the damaging of courthouses and things like that. That's unsettling also, and violence in the streets. That's unsettling. Police officers' violence against citizens is unsettling. But let me read you a little article here on this topic. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, anybody can just pick anybody up over there right now, and they're gonna just go with them. You see the guy in this clip. How would you know that those guys are police officers? They're unmarked. They just grab you, throw you in a minivan. What if that's killers? Like I said, serial killers. That's a breeding ground right now. But the U.S. Attorney for the Oregon District on Friday requested an investigation into the masked, camouflaged federal agents without identification badges who are arresting protesters in Portland. The request is aimed specifically at the Department of Homeland Security personnel who have been captured on various videos arresting protesters and putting them in unmarked SUVs. Demonstrators in Portland have been protesting racial inequality and police brutality for the last 50 nights. U.S. Attorney Billy J. Williams said in a statement, federal authorities have protected the Mark O. Hatfield U.S. Courthouse, and at times interaction between protesters and law enforcement has gotten violent. Last weekend, one protester was seriously injured after the man was shot in the head with impact ammunition from these people, these masked, unmarked, whatever they are, government officials, government officers. Oregon's governor and Portland's mayor demanded the troops be withdrawn, and a U.S. senator joined them in condemning the arrests. Authoritarian governments, not democratic republics, sent unmarked authorities after protesters, tweeted U.S. Senator Jeff Merkley, a Democrat representing Oregon. Merkley also tweeted one video of such an arrest showing two masked camouflage individuals with generic police patches detain a person dressed in a black outfit and place them in an unmarked van before driving away. That's the video that I have on my channel. U.S. Customs and Border Protection admitted to being one of the agencies involved in arresting protesters. Violent anarchists have organized events in Portland over the last several weeks with willful intent to damage and destroy federal property, as well as injure federal officers and agents, the agency said in a statement to CNN. These criminal actions will not be tolerated. The statement said CBP agents suspected the individuals seen in the video Merkley retweeted of assault against federal agents or destruction of federal property. and that they moved the individual to a safer location for questioning after they saw a large and violent mob move towards them. CNN could not independently verify what happened before or after the video was recorded. CBP Commissioner Mark Morgan tweeted the agency will continue to arrest violent criminals that are destroying federal property. He also said CBP personnel are clearly marked as federal officers and have unique identifiers. You will not see names on their uniforms because these same violent criminals use this information to target them and their families, putting both at risk. As acting commissioner, I will not let that happen again, Morgan tweeted. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler demanded Friday that President Donald Trump send the federal officers home. This is not the America we want. This is not the Portland we want, Wheeler said at a news conference. We're demanding that the president remove these additional troops that he sent to our city. It is not helping to contain or de escalate the situation. It's obviously having exactly the opposite impact. Acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf, who visited the city Thursday, defended the actions of his officers, saying in a tweet, DHS officers were assaulted with lasers and frozen water bottles from violent criminals attempting to tear down federal properties. 2 officers were injured. Our men and women in uniform are patriots, he said in another tweet that featured uniformed officers who looked to be similar to the ones shown in the video from earlier in the week. In addition to U.S. Attorney Williams' call for an investigation, Oregon Attorney General Ellen Rosenblum filed a complaint in federal court Friday against DHS. The suit asked a judge to declare the federal officers' actions unlawful and for an injunction requiring federal officers to identify themselves and their agency before detaining anyone in Oregon and prohibiting them from arresting anyone without probable cause or a warrant. Oregon Governor Kate Brown describes the arrest as a blatant abuse of power by the federal government in a tweet Thursday. Brown tweeted she told Wolf that the federal government should remove all federal officers from our streets. His response showed me he is on a mission to provoke confrontation for political purposes. She tweeted he is putting both Oregonians and local law enforcement in harm's way. ACLU files lawsuit against DHS. Mark Pple, a 29-year-old Portland resident, told CNN he was taken by unknown federal agents Wednesday. I was kidnapped off the street in my own city for nonviolently protesting and showing up in solidarity. About 4 people jumped out of the van that pulled up in front of me, and my first reaction was, I tried to get away. Pettibone said he was held for about 2 hours and plans to talk to the National Lawyers Guild, but will follow up with the ACLU. The American Civil Liberties Union of Oregon sued DHS Friday over the arrest. The ACLU says DHS agents have been deployed over the widespread objections of local leaders and community members have been indiscriminately using tear gas, rubber bullets, and acoustic weapons against protesters, journalists, and legal observers. This is a fight to save our democracy, said Kelly Simon, interim legal director with the ACLU of Oregon. The ACLU called the arrest unconstitutional in a tweet. Usually, when we see people in unmarked cars forcibly grab someone off the street, we call it kidnapping. What is happening now in Portland should concern everyone in the U.S. The ACLU's tweet read, "These actions are flat out unconstitutional and will not go unanswered." So I think that this is really hurting like the peaceful protesters, because from the beginning, as soon as Mr. Floyd, rest in peace, was murdered by these officers in Minnesota, when the protest started, we see videos coming out of officers dressed like rioters, breaking windows, starting fires. We've seen officers pulling up on blocks and dropping off pallets of bricks. We've seen officers dressed up and they're the only ones that are breaking stuff, and everybody else is walking down the street peacefully protesting. We've seen officers push down old people, I believe in Buffalo, New York, and the guy went into a coma and Trump made fun of him. We've seen officers beat up people and tear gas them in front of the White House so Trump can go take a picture with an upside down Bible in front of a church. I mean, instance after instance, we're seeing it's going downhill like really badly, and it's really killing the peaceful protesters who are just trying to get justice for the murder victims who are violently murdered by police officers every year. Um, and I think it's really a shame. Um, it's just a very sad situation, and uh, I don't know. Like I said about these guys, I like, there's a lot of sick people in this world. Now, imagine these sick people see these videos. Now, they get themselves a little army suit, and it was just an unmarked minivan like me or you have, and just go driving around taking people. These people are going without a fight. This guy just got right in the van with them when they handcuffed him, and they start killing them. Now, people start coming up brutally murder, disappearing. It's crazy. I don't know what to feel. It's like I'm on the fence back and forth with everything that's going on. You see, like, okay, yeah, they break the courthouse. You have to arrest certain people. Then you see unmarked vans pulling up on innocent people and throwing them in the vans. It's just I don't know what to think. What do you guys think? Give me your opinion. And also, if you like stuff like this and news, like, comment, subscribe. Jimbo TV. Try to get me to 1K. I really appreciate it. God bless everyone. Hope everyone stays safe out there. Everyone. And just love to all. Peace, everybody.